can you explain to us what is a social worker?
Basically, social worker will always try to help out people who have disabilities or problems. In my case, because it's different, a social worker will not have the same role if he works with children and with young children, or if he works with adults or with people who have mental illness. For me, all the work I've done as a social worker was with people with mental illness, such as schizophrenia, or with people with intellectual disability. So with them, I really had to take charge of their life and make sure that many spheres of their lives were well accomplished.
What was your interest when you decided to study in social work?
To me, it was to do counseling, like to be face-to-face with people, do interview, try to help them out with their problem. And I was always really attracted by everything which is related to psychology and to human thinking. So that's why I think mental illness for me was the best place to go. I think mental health is something that is very fragile for many people, and to get some help sometimes with someone who's not in the situation could always be helpful.
And which part of your job is the most stressful?
I think that the worst part is to have access to services, and it's getting worse and worse, I believe. Many people have a lot of needs. You know what they should get. For example, if they need a place to live, you know they need, for example, a supervised apartment, but there's no such thing in Granby, for example. So sometimes you know the person is quite autonomous for this kind of service, but you don't have access to that service. So you have to either bring the person to a level where he cannot really reach it without your help, or you have to bring him to another level of house where he would be supposed to have no autonomy, so the person lost.
What kind of tasks do you have in common with your colleague?
I used to work with nurses and psychiatrists because it was really medical work at Douglas Hospital, which is a psychiatric hospital. So, and they call it interdisciplinary task, which means that we have to take care of the globality of the person. We have to make sure that this person will have a place to live, will have leisure to do, will have money with the social welfare and everything, and everybody at the same kind of task. We have to evaluate and see if the person has a good state of mind, how the mental health is in equilibrium, and I think everybody was doing the same.
Have you ever had the opportunity to get a career advancement?
But to me, being a teacher now is a career advancement, because while I was working as a social worker, I used to animate a lot of self-help group. And I love it. I really love the fact that talking about psychology, talking about human, and helping out people by doing education. So now being a teacher for me is getting an advancement. But I never was a boss or...
Okay.
Is it hard for you to find a balance between your professional, social, and personal life aspect of your life?
But I think it's a challenge for everybody living in this crazy society, if I could say such thing. Yeah, I think you always need to be quite good within your own self in order to help other people, because if you're not in good equilibrium, you will find it hard, and you might get many things that the other person living and putting in you. So nobody's perfect, but I think to work in such field, you need to take care of yourself first. So I think I have a lot of passions, music, sports, and everything, which all always help me to sublimate all my difficulties.
And according to you, what is the best part of being a social worker?
Being with people, helping out people. It's always a great satisfaction to know that you're advocating for someone and that you gain something for others that cannot do it for themselves. And it's funny, because when it's for me, I'm not good at it. I'm not good to go and fight for my own rights. But when it's for someone that I know who needs help, and I will fight really hard, and I think that's what really satisfies me.
What are your challenges as a social worker?
But I think the challenge, as I said before, is to keep a good balance between your professional, personal life, and to keep a good distance with the clients. Make sure that you don't get in his problem, but you have more an understanding of his problem. And it's not always that easy, because some people really have tough lives. So it's hard to keep the good distance. So it's far enough and close enough, and that's what is always kind of tricky. And it goes with the relationship you have with the person. So it's a challenge, but every challenge could be very beneficial.
So thank you very much. The challenges that we encountered were definitely to find a match with our schedule, but also with our interviewee. The second challenge was about our field of study, which were completely different.
The highlight moments were that we found rapidly someone to interview and we built the question easily.
Benjamin was creating the video while I was using my knowledge about the program to build up the questionnaire and also to contact the interviewee.
We had a good match in terms of task. We were completed the weakness of the others with our strength.
If we have to do the project again, we will start earlier the project at all because we had a lot of time during the end of the semester to do it, to make it.
We spent too much time on this project for the time we have at the end of the semesters.
I think the project is a bit redundant because we did it so many times when we were in high school and in the other class of this subject.